Leaves of Grass was scandalous when it first came out. He was way too comfortable with his sensuality, and he was accused of all sorts of perverse things. He later, 11 years after the original edition of Leaves of Grass, and if you don't know it, the book was edited constantly throughout his lifetime, and he just kept adding and adding to it. But 11 years after the original edition, he lost a job with the Department of the Interior because one of his supervisors got a hold of the book about a year after he'd been working there and decided that this guy was just not cool. And I know he had censorship problems all over the place. I forgot to introduce myself, but I'm Tony Weller, one of the owners of this bookstore. And last thing I'll say before I read this is that almost no book of influence hasn't been challenged by someone. People just don't like having their ideas challenged. It doesn't even matter what you're saying. If it's challenging, someone's upset. This is the third stanza from Salut au Monde, which is within the 1882 edition of Leaves of Grass and every subsequent one, I'm sure. What do you hear, Walt Whitman? I hear the working man singing and the farmer's wife singing. I hear in the distance the sounds of children and of animals early in the day. I hear the emulous shouts of Australians pursuing the wild horse. I hear the Spanish dance with castanets in the chestnut shade to the rebec and guitar. I hear continual echoes from the Thames. I hear fierce French liberty songs. I hear of the Italian boot sculler, the musical recitative of the old poems. I hear the locusts in Syria as they strike the grain in the grass with the showers of their terrible clouds. I hear the Coptic refrain toward sundown, pensively falling on the breast of the black venerable vast mother, the Nile. I hear the chirp of the Mexican muleteer and the bells of the mule. I hear the Arab muezzin calling from the top of the mosque. I hear the Christian priests at the altars of their churches. I hear the responsive bass and soprano. I hear the cry of the Cossack and the sailor's voice putting to sea at Okhotsk. Hard word. I hear the wheeze of the slave coffle as the slaves march on, as the husky gangs pass on by twos and threes, fastened together with wrist chains and ankle chains. I hear the Hebrew reading his records and psalms. I hear the rhythmic myths of the Greeks and the strong legends of the Romans. I hear the tale of the divine life and the bloody death of the beautiful God, the Christ. I hear the Hindu teaching his favorite pupil the loves, wars, adages, transmitted safely to this day from poets who wrote 3,000 years ago.